All right, so the garden has grown a lot since we recorded our last garden tour video, which was the beginning of July. Now it's the first week in August, and we've been harvesting quite a bit from our garden. So I'd like to take you on a brief little tour and show you what is growing around here. All right, so our winter squash and Squash Hill is looking really fantastic. We've got a lot of nice varieties coming up here. These are our spaghetti squash, and we have our blue Hubbard over here. This blue Hubbard squash is native to this area, and these seeds specifically were grown by my cousin on the reservation. So these plants here in the garden are probably the most adapted. And they are doing lovely. Nalin gave them some little paper underneath so that they don't get too soft on the ground. So he's been taking good care of our squash. Our chickens are over here now, doing well. Let's say hi to the chickies. Hi, chickies. Nalin with a chicken. Bok. The Little Flower Garden is coming along nicely, especially these dahlias. They just started blooming. This one is called Peaches. Woohoo! So pretty. And here's one. I have to look up the name on this one, but it's gorgeous. And we've got some Aztec zinnias blooming. They're really, really cute. The rest of the dahlias are looking great. These ones have buds on them. And here's another Aztec zinnia with yarrow. I love yarrow. So on the other side of our winter squash bed, we have some summer squash. This is a Ronde de Nice, and I did a separate video on this squash about how amazing it is. Got another little spaghetti growing in here. The Napa cabbages are doing well. Derek's been harvesting the outer leaves and cooking them. And this is really cute right here. We have, this is a sweet dumpling squash that we have growing up on this sunflower plant. Very cute. And so over here, our cucumbers are doing amazing. These are the Boston picklings on this side. Derek's added more string to the trellis. Oh, Nalin found a big one. That is definitely ready. What do you think, chicken?
What do you eat?
All right, Nalin. So these Boston picklings are doing great, fantastic. We've already made several rounds of pickling cucumbers. The cabbages in here aren't doing the greatest. They've been getting chewed up by the cabbage moth. I will. They've been getting chewed up by the cabbage moth larva. So we've been feeding the leaves to the bunnies. This cucumber over here we're excited about. These are the Suyo Long Armenian type cucumbers. They're the dark green Armenians. So we're excited to have a couple of these growing nicely, almost ready for picking. The chamomile I put in here, they're doing all right, but you know, it probably wasn't the best spot to put them with the cucumbers because they don't get a whole lot of sun with these cucumbers, even though they are companions. Next to the Armenians, we have our lemon cucumbers, and you can already see some on the vine. We've been picking these as well. They're doing fantastic. This over here is a birdhouse gourd of Nalin's. And again, some more cabbages that aren't doing the greatest, but we'll kind of do something. We might get a nice little cabbage head out of that one, even though it's a little bit chewed up. And next to the cucumber bed, we have more summer squash, the zucchinis. They're doing really well, as are our bush beans. These are the yellow wax beans, so we've been harvesting these and enjoying them. We've got, I think 6 bean plants here, a mix of the yellow wax and the green bush beans, and they're doing wonderful. My cosmos just started to bloom, so these are great for the bees to come. Really beautiful. What do you got, Nalin? Nalin found some alpine strawberries in his garden.
There you go.
I can have them. Delicious. Yum, I love these. So we've got the beans and the cosmos doing well. Here is a zucchini that we need to pick. That one's looking lovely. And on the other side here, we've got some more winter squash. Let's go take a look. This is a sugar pie pumpkin that is doing well. We've got a few of these coming up. And next to them, we have some acorn squash hitting in here. Acorn squash is my absolute favorite kind of winter squash, so I'm really excited about these. Plant's doing pretty well here. Over here is our melon bed. I don't know if you remember from the first garden tour video, but we had a lot of dandelion greens in here. We let those get pretty big, and then I just harvested all of them with their roots and made roasted dandelion root for tea. As you can see, the broccolis aren't doing the greatest. They also have been getting chewed up by the cabbage moth larvae, and you know, we don't spray anything except for our homemade compost tea. So even the organic sprays and stuff, we're like, no, we don't get down with that. So they just kind of been getting eaten, and we have these really cute little pitiful broccolis that we're going to harvest soon. But that's about it for the broccoli. The kale too has been getting eaten up, but not as bad, and we've still been able to harvest some of our kale. The melons are really cute here. I don't know if they'll get much bigger. I hope they will. But they're very cute, and definitely we're looking forward to having some of our melons. Let's see the watermelon over here. The watermelon's gotten a little bit bigger. That one's looking nice, and same with this one over here. So the pepper bed has been doing fantastic. I love how our peppers are coming along. I usually keep this white agrobond cloth over them. I moved these inwards a little bit more as the peppers grew taller, so that they had more space when the cloth is over them. It used to be all the way over the basil, and so again the basil and the peppers are companion plants. The basil's also doing really well. The only thing is our peppers have not started flowering yet, so we might need to give them an extra boost of nutrients for flowering. You know, we've got maybe 30-40 days until a potential first frost comes, so I'm really rooting for our peppers here. They are slow, but they are looking really, really good. And our sweet basil has been doing well, and then this kind beyond the sweet basil is Tulsi, holy basil. This makes a really fantastic tea. It's more in the lines of herbal medicine rather than edible. We've been harvesting a lot of raspberries too. They're just petering on their way out, but we've been picking a good pint or two almost every day from these bushes. So this has been pretty incredible. And here we weeded Nalin's garden, so it's no longer overgrown with grass. This is where he just picked me those white alpine strawberries from. His walking onion is looking good. So these are onions that will come up.
Way over here.
Yeah, these are onions that will come up, and then they'll put their they'll resprout and have like a new bulb, and so they kind of spread. And so we've got a few more coming up here. And he's got his pineapple mint and sunflowers doing well. The monarda and the herbs such as thyme, sage, and oregano over there. Alright, the peas are phasing out a little bit here. The carrots are doing really well. And we've been harvesting these a bit. And these are Persian cucumbers. Persian cucumbers are pretty incredible. These are the Bait Alpha variety from Baker Creek, I want to say. And it's guaranteed that every flower turns into a cucumber. I don't know how they do that, but yeah, these little Persian cucumbers are the best for snacking. So we've been pretty on top of picking these and eating them. And here we have Grandpa's famous tomatoes. The Sun Golds are doing pretty well here. And we've got some Cherokee Purples. We just harvested our first one of the Cherokee Purples, and then these are coming up. Nice big juicy heirloom tomato there. Here are some more tomatoes that we got from my sister and didn't have room in the garden for, so we put them in pots. And these are doing fantastic. So tomatoes, yeah, they can grow really well in pots here. We've got these little cherry tomatoes growing really well, and whatever kind this is, we don't know. But this is our little plant nursery, plants that I still need to figure out where to put, including some apple trees. These are just rootstocks of types that grow really well here in our climate, and I'm going to graft them in the spring. So yeah, there's the garden. This little raised bed is doing all right. Carrots here are growing, but kind of slow. Same with the beets. And our cilantro here has started to all go to flower, and we're going to harvest the seeds as coriander. I don't know if you know, but coriander seeds are just from cilantro. That's it. So we're looking forward to these going to seed. And our radishes kind of quickly started going to seed too after I made the video, because it got pretty warm here for a little while. So we'll collect the seeds of our radishes. I don't know if I shared this in the first video or not, but these are our 3 rhubarb plants, and I mulched them with the rabbit droppings and some of their old Timothy hay, and these are doing pretty well. I also have an elderberry planted. This is the variegated elderberry that I traveled with from California, and I'm hoping it does well here and likes its spot. This is a new little garden spot right here. These are some perennial flowers that I put in: a daylily, the iris I took from California, a white liatris, and a couple of other things, some natives that I got from this area, and this little balloon flower, and a motherwort plant. I'm really excited about her. So I was just feeling the need to get these plants in the ground ASAP, and we had some rain, so the ground was nice and soft. But I will be taking those boxes there and kind of sheet mulching around the plants to cover up the grass, and then I'll do some mulch on top of that, and that should be good for winterizing them. They also all got a good application of rabbit droppings around them with some of the straw, so they've got some nice fertilizer there. And yeah, this will be a new cute little flower garden right next to the trellised area. Alright, the bees are doing really well. Derek and Nalin added another box on top because they are really just filling up their deeps with honeycomb. And we harvested our first jar of honey from them. Thank you, bees. And the Hugel bed over here is also looking really good, and we had a few potatoes for dinner one time. They're doing fantastic. We've got red and purple potatoes in here, and so these will be ready for harvesting soon. The onions are also looking nice up here, as are the leeks. And we've got some new animal additions to the homestead. So a couple months ago, we took in 2 male Swedish blue ducks from my cousins, and they're really happy getting to be ducks on a pond. And then just recently, we welcomed a white Pekin duck we are calling her Aflac, and these 3 are really getting along well. So we welcomed her, and then we also have 3 male Muscovy ducks. The male Muscovies will be harvested for meat, and then we are going to look for a male Pekin duck so that we can breed them with her. And we also welcomed a goose to the homestead, a white Emblem she is, and she's very tame. She follows us around. We've been able to pick her up, and so she's just really funny and a joy to have on the homestead.